Morning. There's quite a lot been going on social media and the news this week with EVs. The two things that have really interested me have been the rumours that seem to be mounting now about the 2018 Nissan Leaf, and also wireless charging. It seems to be back at the forefront again. So I thought we'd have a chat through about some of those things. But first of all, let's get these monkeys dropped off at school and get on our way home. And some peace and quiet. That's them dropped off at school. Now I was going to go straight home. I'm supposed to be fitting a sink in the downstairs toilet today. When I say today, I'm supposed to have been doing it for the last 12 months. Unfortunately, when I eventually got round to opening the new sink, it was broken, and I'd had it about 9 months by then, so of course I couldn't return it. So the new one arrived yesterday. We got people coming at the weekend, so I've promised that I'm going to get it fitted. But on the way back, after the heat of last night, and I think the next few days are supposed to be staying the same, quite humid, I think I'm going to go to the local town and see if I can pick up a couple of fans for the bedroom. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was this wireless charging. It keeps kind of raising its head. I've heard about it a few times. I think we're moving forward with it now. There's a company have tested it over a short space where you can see there's a car driving, and as it's driving it's charging up, which on the surface you have to say is a really, really good idea. For me, I don't know if we're barking up the right tree with that. I think there's a place for it. I don't think the place for it is on our roads whilst we're driving along. I think the place for it is probably at home as a kind of an option for people, and possibly in public car parks. But even then, my concern is, we can't even all agree on a charger, a cable for every car. So sorry, I got momentarily distracted there. There was a Bugatti, very nice. We can't even agree on a charging cable, a setup, and a common set of rules at the moment. Until we can get the likes of maybe Nissan and Renault working together, or Tesla and Nissan, all just coming together. We just need a few big companies to join together and get a common standard. If we can't even do that with our charging as it is at the moment, I don't think we're ever going to do it with a wireless charging system, which means there's going to have to be lots of different systems wherever you go. And also then you've got to think about the extra weight it's going to add to the car. And to be honest, I personally don't find plugging my car in particularly onerous. It takes 30 seconds at most. I don't find that a problem at all, and I'm driving around in a 24 kilowatt Leaf. So as these batteries get bigger, and you look at Tesla, they've got batteries that will do easily 300 miles. The Renault Zoe now well over 200 miles. I see Fisker have just announced that they're developing a battery not massively different from the batteries we've got at the moment, but they're claiming it's going to do 400 miles. So now we're back to a range on our batteries. We're looking at the same as an ICE car. Now we're quite happy to go and stand for 3 or 4 minutes while we fill up with petrol at a petrol station. So I think that what we need to be looking at, rather than these kind of niche charging systems, let's develop and put the money into quick charging batteries. Because if we can go to a charging station and top up with 300 miles worth of electric in a few minutes, then surely that's a better option than the cost of the infrastructure of laying roads with charging plates, putting the extra resources into the cars to have the pickups underneath to be able to take the charge, and that's notwithstanding the efficiency losses, because let's be honest, they're not going to be 100% efficient. I'd imagine we're a fair way off of that. So I'm sure there is a place for it, and I'm sure some people will quite like the idea of pulling up on their driveway or in their garage and driving their car over the top of a wireless charging plate and not having to think any more about it. And I'm sure maybe people with disabilities, it would be a really, really good thing to have. So I wouldn't want to write it off completely, but I think it's a very niche market, and I think we need to look at other ways of developing our batteries to make them go further and charge faster. And I think if we can do that, then I think we've got the EV market cracked. I think that's when you know, the masses will come over to it. Right, here's a moment of truth. Is it, isn't it? There's a Mitsubishi in one. Yes, one of them's free. Brilliant. So I've got some fans for the kids now. Hopefully they'll sleep a bit better tonight. Let's head home, get some lunch, and I might start thinking about fitting a sink. We'll see. Actually, I've just had a phone call from a friend of mine. He is out on a test drive at the moment in a 30 kilowatt hour Leaf, which is brilliant. I've been talking to him about it for ages, and he had a little drive of this one and really liked it. He is currently driving a reasonably new Vauxhall Astra, and he's saying the discussions he's had already, it's going to be so cheap for him to get into a Leaf. I think, reading between the lines, what's happening is the sales are starting to dip already, based on the fact that they announced the 2018 Leaf. So it'll be interesting to see now how that does affect the prices. Clearly they're already starting to come down, which is brilliant news. And now I'm home, I'm hoping that this box has got a sink in it that I can fit this afternoon. Let's have a look. There we go, that is definitely a sink. Right, I'm going to have some lunch, have a coffee, have a think about how I'm going to do this, and I'll get back to you in a bit. That's just brilliant. As usual, when I try and do these things, I haven't got half the bits I need. So I've ordered some bits. I'm off back into town now to go and pick them up, and we've got 2 hours to have to pick the kids up. Something tells me we're not going to have a fully functioning sink by the end of the day. Either that or it's going to be a very late night. Right, I've managed to pick up the bits I need. I've just had a phone call from that friend of mine that was test driving the Leaf today. He says he's got some questions, and he wants to pop over and see me. So I don't mind, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy to talk to him about it, but it is going to delay my sink fitting. And I don't think I'm going to be particularly popular tonight when that's not in. Well, today really hasn't gone as planned. Just as I was making progress on the sink, my friend turned up that was test driving the Leaf. He came with his wife. They just wanted to know a few bits about the charging and just generally how you get on with it day to day, which I didn't mind. It was great. I was able to talk them through it, and they're really keen. I think ultimately they've got it for the weekend. I'd be very surprised if they didn't end up buying one. Unfortunately, that's put me back, so I had to leave the sink to go and pick the kids up from school. I've just got home. I'm going to get dinner in the oven now, otherwise we're not going to eat tonight. And then hopefully I can still get that sink on the wall, even if it's not plumbed in, at least it'll be on the wall. And I still want to talk about the 2018 Leaf, but I think I'm going to do that later. I'm going to get this sorted first. Right, that's that in the oven, so now I can talk to you. So the 2018 Nissan Leaf, obviously we've seen so far one picture. It was of a headlight, it looked very nice, but now the rumours are rife. I think the biggest one is the size of the battery. The people are saying that they think it's only going to have a 40 kilowatt hour battery, and the 60 kilowatt hour one isn't going to come. Effectively what that means is it's not going to have a range of 200 plus miles. I think this is just speculation and rumour. I think it would be suicide for Nissan not to release a 60 kilowatt battery as an option. I think there will be a 40 kilowatt hour battery, and it might be that that comes first and the 60 kilowatt hour one comes as an update at some point. But to produce an EV in 2018, which is going to see them through 2020, I would imagine at least, and not have a 60 kilowatt hour battery in, people just won't buy it. It will become the norm. People are going to expect 200 plus miles in a car. So I think this is just a bit of scaremongering and a lot of rumour on YouTube. I genuinely do not believe that's going to happen. I think, and this is only my personal opinion, I think it's going to come with an option of a 40 or a 60 kilowatt battery, and obviously you'll pay the difference for that. I think it's possible that the 60 kilowatt battery is going to push it up over £40,000. But then, let's look at the Model 3. I think, the base model, which is what they're going to release initially, that may well have that headline grabbing $35,000 price tag. But as things move on and the options increase, let's be honest, to get the same sort of level as a top of the range Leaf, it's probably going to be the same. It's probably going to be £40,000+. So yeah, that's the price bracket we're looking at, and there's going to be a definite expectation there of 200 plus miles. The other thing that people are talking about is the motor in it. The general feeling is it's probably going to be the same one, but possibly with more power being released to it, so it feels a bit quicker, a bit more urgent. It feels like a new motor. It might be that it is a new one, but the reports, and there's been quite a lot of them, are suggesting that it's gonna feel certainly quicker, and possibly the 0 to 60 times are going to reduce, and this is all going to be part of that increased battery capacity. They can now release more power to it. We all know that the current Nissan Leaf is restricted. It's got to be because of the size of the battery. If you don't, you've got to find that balance. There's got to be a balance between the power and the range. I think that's just about it for my update this week. There's loads and loads of stuff going on at the moment, and I'll have a look through and see what kind of sparks my interest for next week, and maybe I'll put together another little update for next week, see how it goes. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video today, if you can like it, share it, and have a look on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll find me on there as well. Thank you ever so much for watching. It's 10 to 11 at night, everyone's in bed. But that is a fully fitted sink.